For wins. 6 races. Those 4 words tell a story that NASCAR hasn't seen in over 3 decades. Tyler Reddick has done something that only 2 drivers in the entire history of the sport have ever accomplished, winning 4 of the first 6 races to open a NASCAR Cup Series season. The other 2 names on that list are Dale Earnhardt Sr. in 1987 and Bill Elliott in 1992. Let that sink in. Reddick is now standing in the company of 2 of the most legendary drivers to ever strap into a stock car. And here's the part that makes this story even more remarkable. Just 1 season ago, in 2025, Reddick went completely winless. From zero to historic. To understand how stunning this run truly is, you have to go back to where this whole journey started. Tyler Reddick was driving for Richard Childress Racing, a respected team with deep roots in NASCAR history. But in mid-2022, 2311 Racing co-owner Denny Hamlin made a move that would reshape the sports landscape. He pushed hard to sign Reddick, and he wasn't willing to wait. The team agreed to a contract that would bring Reddick over for the 2024 season, and then went even further, negotiating a deal to get him out of his RCR contract a full 12 months early. That is how much 2311 Racing believed in Tyler Reddick. But belief alone doesn't win races. 2025 was a difficult year, not just for Reddick, but for the entire 2311 organization. The wins didn't come. The momentum stalled. And heading into 2026, there were legitimate questions about whether this team could compete at the highest level consistently. Then the season started, and everything changed. The historic run, race by race. Reddick didn't ease into the 2026 season. He attacked it. The first major statement came at the most prestigious race in NASCAR, the Daytona 500. Win number 1. Right out of the gate, Reddick put the field on notice. A Daytona 500 victory is not a lucky break. It requires strategy, execution, and a fast car. 2311 had all 3. Then came the Circuit of the Americas, COTA. This is where history was made for the first time this season. Reddick won at COTA, giving him back-to-back victories to open the year. Then he won again, making it 3 consecutive wins to start the season. That had never been done before in the history of the NASCAR Cup Series. Not by Earnhardt, not by Petty, not by anyone. Tyler Reddick became the first driver ever to win the first 3 races of a Cup Series season. The wins kept coming. At Phoenix, Ryan Blaney took the checkered flag, one of the few drivers who managed to break through during this stretch. But even without a win there, Reddick's consistency was staggering. Through the first 6 races of the season, his worst finish was 13th at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Every other result was a top finish or a victory. That kind of floor is what separates dominant seasons from truly historic ones. And then there was Darlington. The Darlington race, on paper, looked like it could be the one that finally broke Reddick's run. He faced a major alternator issue during the race that forced his team to make repairs with pit road closed, sending him all the way to the back of the field. Most drivers in that situation accept the damage to their race result and manage for points. Reddick didn't. He drove back through the field, reclaimed the lead late from Brad Keselowski, and took win number 4. To understand just how impressive that comeback was, Keselowski had dominated that race. He led 142 out of 293 laps completed and won both Stage 1 and Stage 2. He was the best car on the track for the majority of the afternoon. It took a late charge from Reddick to regain the lead from Keselowski, who would finish second for his best finish since the Fall Phoenix race at the end of last season. The fact that Reddick could overcome an alternator problem, a trip to the back, and a dominant Keselowski performance, and still come away with a win speaks to what this team has become. The team behind the driver. Tyler Reddick is the one holding the trophy, but this story is about an entire organization operating at peak performance. 2311 Racing has undergone a significant transformation since the lawsuit settlement in early December. That resolution cleared the air and allowed the team to focus entirely on racing. The results have been immediate and undeniable. The ownership structure at 2311 is unlike anything else in NASCAR. Michael Jordan, the NBA legend, holds majority ownership of the team. Alongside him are co-owners Denny Hamlin, himself an active Cup Series driver, and Curtis Polk. The combination of Jordan's resources and competitive fire, Hamlin's deep knowledge of the sport, and Polk's business acumen has created an organization that is building the right way. Hamlin has been especially candid about what he sees in Reddick and what the team has helped him become. He's become what I hoped, and that is a more complete race car driver, Hamlin said. There's many fast drivers that are rough around the edges. Reddick wasn't rough around the edges, but he just wasn't refined in how he approached races, how he chose to race hard at. He was a hard all-the-time guy. I think that we've really kind of helped him with his racecraft, learn when to attack, and when you could be conservative. That's the biggest change I've seen in him over the last few years. It's just refining that. That refinement is visible every single week. Reddick is no longer just fast. He is calculated, composed, and clinical. Kevin Harvick, one of the most respected analysts and former champions in the sport, broke down exactly what makes this combination so difficult to beat right now. Well, here's the thing. They have the fastest cars and the most confidence, Harvick said on his podcast. And when you have those two things together, that's a dangerous combination, because when you have scenarios where the car breaks and things aren't going your way, it's like no big deal. They pull in the pits, they fix it, and it's like, I'm going to drive right back to the front. That's how this works. The Darlington alternator situation proved Harvick's point in real time. The car broke. The team fixed it. Reddick drove back to the front, exactly as described. Harvick also pointed to another critical factor that separates great teams from dominant ones. The other thing that they're doing, they're not fumbling away opportunities while they have the fastest car. That discipline, converting speed into victories rather than wasting fast cars on careless mistakes, is what is building this championship resume race by race. Mamba Smith, co-host on Harvick's podcast, added further context. I think that their group, they just are in their process of how they bring their setups together. Whatever Tyler's doing in the sim, what Billy Scott and that group is doing on the car, they really love their process right now, because obviously it keeps working. So they're just building speed. This is not a hot streak based on luck. It is a structured, repeatable process delivering results week after week. And it is not just Reddick carrying the team. Teammate Bubba Wallace currently sits third in the championship standings, 120 points behind Reddick. More impressively, Wallace leads all of NASCAR in stage points with 60. Before Darlington, where an unavoidable mid-race crash dropped him to a 34th place finish, Wallace's worst result of the season was an 11th at COTA. 2311 is not a one-car operation. They are fielding two legitimate championship contenders. The Big Four debate. For years, the conversation around NASCAR's elite teams has centered on Hendrick Motorsports, Joe Gibbs Racing, and Team Penske. Those three organizations have collectively dominated the sport for decades. But Tyler Reddick's historic start to 2026 has forced a serious question. Does 2311 Racing now belong in that conversation? Jordan Bianchi of the Teardown made the case publicly and directly. What more do you need at this point? Bianchi said, they won at a drafting track. They've won on a road course. They won on an intermediate and they won at Darlington. They've won these places at various places. What more do you need as evidence to say that this team is here to stay and they are legit? It is a legitimate question. The wins have not come on just one type of track. They have come everywhere. That cross-track versatility is the hallmark of a genuine championship caliber team. Bianchi went further by pointing to the team's overall trajectory. They won the Brickyard 400 last year. They won the regular season points championship in 2024. This team is legit. They've got resources. They're not lacking sponsorship. They're not lacking money. They've got a beautiful building. They have smart ownership. What more do you need to say they are here to stay? Then Bianchi made his boldest statement. They're outrunning Penske. I would rather have this team right now than Penske. I stand by that. Not everyone is ready to go that far. Co-host Jeff Gluck offered a more measured perspective. I'm still not ready to put 2311 up there on a consistent basis. Gluck responded. I think they've had an incredible start. But this was also a track that was an unusual sort of guessing game type thing, and they nailed it. Gluck framed the current elite tier as a big two, Hendrick and Gibbs, as the organizations most capable of sustaining dominance across a full season. But even Gluck left the door open. If 23-11 goes to Martinsville next week, I'll feel different. That one line captures exactly where the sport stands right now. Every race is another referendum on whether 23-11 belongs at the very top. And so far, they keep delivering the right answer. The contract situation. There is another major storyline running parallel to the on-track dominance. Tyler Reddick is in the last year of his contract with 23-11 Racing. In any normal season, that would create uncertainty and speculation about where he might land in 2027. But this is not a normal season. Denny Hamlin addressed the situation directly this week on his Actions Detrimental podcast, revealing the new deal is close. He was asked whether he thought there was a real chance of losing Reddick to another team. "No, I don't think so. I don't think so," Hamlin said. Reddick himself has been equally clear about where he stands. "I'm just really proud of where we are today and the progress we're making. I want to be here. I love racing here at 23-11, and I'm looking forward to getting all buttoned up so we can move on." He elaborated further, "I love what Denny, Michael, and Curtis and all of the ownership group has built here. I want to be a part of it then, and I still want to be part of it now. We've been really building some great things. Obviously, 2025 was tough for all of us, but we have the right people here to turn it around, and we did a really good job of that this offseason." The betting market has already responded to his dominance. Reddick entered the 2026 season at plus 1,000 odds to win the championship. After 4 wins in 6 races, he has moved to plus 600, tied with William Byron and just below Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson at plus 500. The market still sees this as a competitive championship, but the direction of movement is unmistakable. What comes next? Martinsville. The Cookout 400 at Martinsville Speedway is next on the schedule, set for Sunday, March 29th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on FS1. Martinsville is a paperclip-shaped short track, one of the oldest and most unique circuits on the NASCAR calendar. It rewards a completely different skill set than the super speedways and road courses where Reddick has already dominated this season. The historical numbers at Martinsville present a genuine challenge. Over the last 6 races at Martinsville, Kyle Larson holds the best average finish in the Cup Series at 3.7, including a win in 2023. William Byron and Ryan Blaney each have 2 wins apiece of the track, with Blaney holding the better average finish of the two at 4.5. Byron won the fall Martinsville race last season. Hamlin won the spring edition. Neither 23-11 driver has a recent win at this venue to lean on. One name to watch closely is Ryan Preece. The Connecticut native drives for RFK Racing, and the RFK cars have shown genuine speed over the past several races. Preece has a track record of performing well on short tracks, and Martinsville fits his driving style. A win for Preece this Sunday would be a genuine possibility, not just a media storyline. For 23-11 and Reddick, Martinsville represents both the biggest test of the season so far and the biggest opportunity to permanently end the debate about where this team belongs. Jeff Gluck said he'd feel differently if 23-11 delivered at Martinsville. The short track awaits. Ryan Blaney is second in the standings, 95 points behind Reddick, after posting his 4th top 10 finish of the season with a 3rd-place run at Darlington. Reddick entered 2026 as the driver of a team that had just endured a winless season. 6 races later, he has 4 wins, a commanding points lead, a contract extension nearly finalized, and a legitimate argument as the most dominant force in NASCAR right now. The numbers do not lie. For wins, 6 races, 1 driver, and at this point, nobody has figured out how to stop him.